Recently, I made the first version of Valo2d. This video will detail the changes I made, such as adding room list, changing the guns completely, fixing some bugs, and changing the direction of the game for a small amount of time. So yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first notable thing that I did was add a room list. This was big for the game, and I had foreshadowed it being really hard in the last video, which means I haven't even encountered the hardest part of the networking, so I can't really talk about that yet. But luckily, I was very wrong. Photon has a lot of functions to help me do this, so I got it done pretty fast. And the next order of business was shooting. On all the guns from before, I'd used physics shooting. Physics shooting is when you spawn in a bullet, apply force to it, and detect if it hit anything. I decided to change this and switch all the guns to raycast. Basically just shoots a laser and detects what or if it hit anything. I also added this stock bullet muzzle flash and bullet trip. I added usernames to the game so that you enter them in the title screen and then they show up in game. And I also added a scoreboard so you can compete with your friends in deathmatch. And then I added a dash, which was the first thing from Valorant I added, so that's cool. Now for the big change of direction. Before the game was planned to be Valo2d and nothing else. That's when I realized it's kind of hard to get 10 people to test your game at the same time whenever there's a bug. I mean, I have friends, but not 10 friends who could get on at the same time whenever there's a bug. So I decided to switch the game to deathmatch. Anyway, now before y'all go to the comments for the clickbait allegations saying this is just another IO shooter, I gotta say right now, calm down. I'm going to add Valorant mode. Now it's time for the first test. This first test, I just like to test with my family, and I'm just gonna say right now, I got 30 kills. My whole family was absolute garbage, except for my dad who got 15 kills. But I still don't. I did get some feedback though. The first thing was to add a cooldown to the guns. You see, there was a little problem with the auto clicking. The second piece of feedback was to fix the game's pace. Most of the game was spent dashing around looking for players. To fix this, I decided to work on the mini-map, which will be coming in the next patch. And the next thing I had to do was introduce the game to my school. This was very important. If you remember last time, I introduced the game to my school. I made this prototype. I noticed a big bug. Bullets weren't showing on the other guys. Now, obviously, this is a big problem, right? I thought that with all the tests, it would be fine, right? It was a disaster. First, there was a problem with the room not showing up on the room list, which I don't even understand, because like a bit before recording this video, I did a test with Cal and it was completely fine. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why Photon's function isn't updating the room list, but it wasn't. This means we couldn't even get into a game. And this is inconsistent too. Sometimes it showed up, sometimes it didn't. I could create a bunch of tabs, like find room, find room, find room. Eventually it would work. It works fine locally if you create two tabs on the same computer, which is where I was doing most of my multiplayer tests, so I'm very confused and I'm kind of stuck on this, but don't fear. I'll figure out something. And on another note, with the battle to Cal quota to get to 1,000 subs, there's a big problem. I was kind of in a video that was blowing up, and it's no problem though. I'll have a secret plan that will happen once I release Valo2d. Stay tuned everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Also back to the weekly videos. Bye!